So we found out about the garden here at the College of Muscogee Nation because they actually reached out to us. So we all the time have a lot of people that reach out and kind of showcase some of their stuff. Some of the things is word of mouth that we find out about. And so that's one of the best parts of my job, is being exposed to all of this. And I like to highlight it to other gardeners as well around the state, because I know I have the privilege of coming and seeing it firsthand, but not everybody has that privilege and that opportunity. So if we can advertise and celebrate the work that they're doing here and share that with the rest of the state, it might spark other people to come visit if they have an interest in this, or at least check it out on their websites or their YouTube channels to learn more about it themselves. Oklahoma Gardening is a how-to gardening show that is produced by OSU Extension, and so we are on our 49th year actually, so we've been doing this a while. Not just me, I'm the 11th host, but it airs on OETA, which is Oklahoma's PBS network, and so that airs on Saturdays at 11 and Sundays at 3, depending on whether you're Tulsa or Oklahoma City, exactly what channel that might be, either 11 or 13. This is probably going to air in the next couple of weeks, but we always never quite know, because the show has to be 27 minutes and 45 seconds. So it's a little bit of putting a jigsaw puzzle together with those time commitments. So kind of the production of our show, it's a little bit of an evolution, and there are times where we might find out something just recently, and it might be something kind of, usually it's more of like, hey, there's an outbreak of this disease with plants, or this insect is really causing a problem on this particular crop. And so those are a little bit more time sensitive segments that we want to make sure that we're getting those out right away for people to be aware of. But then there's also segments that we call our evergreen segments. So if we did a segment on a particular plant, we're just highlighting this plant, whether it's a great plant for whatever reason to add to your garden, and so that's something that a lot of times we can use it throughout the season. So it might be we go ahead and capture it while it's either blooming or it's fruiting or something like that, but we can then air it kind of when we need that time or that filler. So there are segments that we've actually held for a year, also because it's like, well, we need to highlight the disease, but that's not when it's time to actually treat that. And so when we treat it is this time, but then at that time we don't actually have the disease to show. So we might get the video while it's actually having the effect, and then air it when you really need to be doing something about it in the garden. So there's a lot of different reasons why we might hold different segments, but a lot of times, you know, we're out there and we're just doing it, so it just kind of ebbs and flows a little bit on our shooting schedule.
Yeah, I think the objective for us is just to highlight all the hard work that's gone into this community garden, and this is the Muscogee Community Garden, and encourage people out there to engage in ag, engage in horticulture, and gardening, and those types of things, and it really is meaningful. And then also educate people about a lot of the traditional ecological knowledge that can come out of it. And so with Courtney, and in conjunction with Ben, and also the Muscogee Gardening Series that Muscogee Media puts on, all those things, this is just another thing to add to that as we build our repertoire in our toolkit, so to speak, to get people to re-engage in this type of activity.
This is the first college, tribal college garden that we've actually visited. A couple of years ago, we also went down and visited with the Choctaw Nation, and I actually spent 2 days hiking around, and we were looking at native plants that the Choctaw used, and it was a fabulous series of segments that we did, and we tried to incorporate the Choctaw names of the plants on there, and we got a lot of positive feedback from that, that, you know, the Choctaw people trying to make sure that the young people know their language and that sort of stuff. So I've always wanted to incorporate more tribal aspects into our show, because I mean, we are Oklahoma gardening, right? And when people think Oklahoma, they think of tribal nations. And so anytime I can incorporate any sort of tribal aspects, the heritage, the culture of Oklahoma, the essence of Oklahoma, and the gardening, I am all about doing that. So if anybody has any leads for gardens out there, or any information, or just questions about gardening, they can always contact us via our website. If you Just search Oklahoma Gardening, OK State. You'll be able to easily find our website. We also have a Facebook page that we interact with our viewers that way as well. And if you do miss our shows on PBS OETA, you can always catch us on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And if you subscribe to that, it'll actually email it to you, so you can know that there is a new show ready to watch and stuff. Well, I just want to say thank you to the College of Muscogee Nation for having us out here and allowing us to celebrate and showcase what they're doing here. I think I have the best job because I get to talk to so many different people across the state about their passion, which is also my passion, of horticulture and gardening.